All right. So have you ever, wished for a swimming pool, but just didn't think you had the space?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Well, we are going to dive into FlussPool today, and
Okay.
they're making some pretty wild claims on their website about how they can change the game.
Sounds intriguing, like adjustable depths and swimming against a current.
Right.
And some crazy projects they've done. Like, where do we even start with this?
Yeah, well, let's just jump right in and try to understand, like, what exactly is a FlussPool.
Yeah.
I kept seeing this word Hubbodent all over their website.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds very, like, sci-fi to me.
Yeah, it does sound a little futuristic,
Yeah.
but it's actually pretty clever.
Yeah.
Essentially, a fluss pool is a countercurrent pool,
Okay.
which we'll talk about more later.
Okay.
But the really interesting part is this Hubbodent,
Okay.
which is basically a movable floor.
Okay.
It's like, picture this. You want to swim.
Uh-huh.
You push a button, the floor rises up,
Oh, wow.
creates your pool.
Yeah.
You're done swimming.
Yeah.
It lowers back down flush with the surrounding space.
Wait, so it's like a swimming pool that, like, appears and disappears?
Pretty much, yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive engineering.
That's some serious engineering. Why go through all that trouble, though?
Yeah.
Like, regular pool cover seems a lot simpler.
Yeah, I mean, a regular pool cover would be simpler, but the Hubbodent does so much more than that.
Okay.
It's not just about covering the pool. It's about using the space for other things when you're not swimming.
So it's like a multifunctional room.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
like having a multifunctional room.
Wow.
Plus, they really emphasize the safety aspect of it on their website,
Okay.
especially for families with kids.
Okay, how does it make things safer?
Well, the Hubbodent can be adjusted to really shallow depths,
Okay.
like 1 centimeter.
Ah.
That's barely a puddle.
Yeah.
So you can create a really safe environment for young children.
Oh, so they can, like, splash around and stuff?
Exactly. Yeah, they can splash around
Without you having to worry about it.
without the risk of accidental drowning. So they've clearly thought about how to make pools safer
Yeah, that's huge for parents.
and more accessible for everyone.
Right. No more, like, constantly worrying about little kids getting too close to the water.
Exactly.
But isn't a pool just like a maintenance nightmare? All that, like, cleaning and skimming and stuff?
It can be,
Yeah.
but you'd be surprised how little energy a fluss pool uses,
Really?
especially compared to a traditional pool, and the Hubbodent actually helps with that.
Okay.
It acts as insulation to regulate the temperature,
Oh, okay.
and by covering the pool when it's not being used, it keeps debris out,
Makes sense.
and that means less cleaning. So
Less scrubbing.
less scrubbing, exactly.
So they've really thought about the sustainability, too, it sounds like.
Yeah, they've definitely considered the environmental impact as well.
Okay, I'm starting to see why this is so appealing.
Yeah.
So we've got, like, the space saving and the safety and the energy efficiency,
Right.
all thanks to this Hubbodent thing.
Exactly.
But let's talk about the actual swimming now.
Yeah.
What is this countercurrent feature they keep mentioning? Is that just like fancy jets or something?
It's way more sophisticated than just jets.
Okay.
It's a system that creates a controlled flow of water
Uh-huh.
that you swim against.
So you're like swimming in place.
Yeah, it's kind of like swimming in a river, but you stay in one spot.
So it's like a hamster wheel, but for swimming.
I guess you could say that. Yeah.
Okay, but what's the point?
Well, think about it this way. You can swim continuously
Okay.
without having to turn around at the end of a lap.
Oh, okay.
So you can really work on your stroke. You can build endurance. You can even simulate open water conditions,
Oh, wow.
all within your own pool.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay, so I see how that would be great for like serious swimmers,
Mm-hmm.
like people training for triathlons and stuff.
Absolutely.
But is it only for like hardcore training?
No, not at all.
Can casual swimmers enjoy it too?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. One of the cool things about the countercurrent is that it's adjustable.
Okay.
So you can crank it up for an intense workout,
Mm-hmm.
or you can tone it down for a leisurely swim.
Okay.
You know, just imagine gliding through the water
Yeah.
with just enough resistance to keep you moving.
That sounds really nice.
Yeah, it's very relaxing.
No more flip turns.
No more flip turns, just pure, uninterrupted swimming.
Okay, but I'm curious, how does this compare to those endless pools you see at the gym?
Oh, yeah.
Aren't they basically the same concept?
They are similar in the sense that you can swim in place,
Uh-huh.
but FlussPool takes it to another level.
Okay.
Remember, it's not just about the countercurrent.
Right.
It's about the whole experience.
Okay.
The sleek design, the disappearing act, the sustainability, the customization.
So they're going for something a lot more holistic.
Exactly. They're trying to create a complete package.
You mentioned customization. What does that actually mean?
Well, from what I'm seeing on the website,
Yeah.
They don't just have like a standard model. Each FlussPool is designed and built to order,
Oh, wow.
tailored to the client's needs
Oh, wow.
and the specifics of their space.
So it's very personalized.
Yeah, it's very personalized, and they have some really cool examples on their website.
Yeah, I saw those projects on their website.
Yeah.
Those are what really caught my eye.
Yeah.
It's not just like a basic backyard pool.
No, not at all.
They've got that one on the rooftop overlooking Lake Zurich.
Oh, yeah. That one's amazing.
And the one built into the mountaintop.
Yeah.
They had to airlift the parts in by helicopter.
Crazy.
And then there's that one that's round with the underwater treadmill.
Yeah, that one's wild.
Right. So they're not afraid to push the boundaries of what a pool can be.
Definitely not.
But seeing those makes me wonder, what's it actually like to swim in one of these things?
Yeah.
How does it feel compared to a regular pool?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And probably one that's best answered by someone who's actually experienced it.
Yeah, true.
Speaking of which, they mentioned a Schwimmkanal in Switzerland, where you can actually try out a FlussPool.
What is a Schwimmkanal?
It's basically like a demonstration pool,
Oh, okay.
specifically designed to showcase the FlussPool technology.
So it's like a test drive for a swimming pool.
Exactly. It's like a test drive for a pool.
That's pretty cool. I'd love to check that out.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see it in action.
Yeah, but even if a trip to Switzerland isn't in the cards,
Right.
I bet there are other places where you can try it out.
Yeah, I'm sure there are similar facilities or demonstrations around the world.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in like the visuals and the tech specs,
Mm-hmm.
but in the end, it's really about the experience.
Yeah, that's what matters most.
Right. So for those of you listening, imagine yourself stepping into a FlussPool,
Okay.
feeling that cool water surround you as you push off against the current.
Yeah, and feeling that gentle resistance as you glide through the water.
And the sounds of the world just kind of fading away.
Yeah, it's just focusing on your breath and the rhythm of your stroke.
And then when you're done,
Uh-huh.
imagine that pool just disappearing back into your space,
It's a pretty amazing concept.
leaving you feeling refreshed and invigorated and ready for anything.
Yeah, it definitely sounds appealing.
Right. But let's maybe shift gears a bit and talk about some of the more practical considerations of owning a FlussPool.
That makes sense.
Because we've covered a lot of ground here, from that Hubbodent to the Countercurrent.
Hell, we had.
But there's still a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to like the realities of actually bringing one of these things into your life.
Absolutely. Welcome back to our deep dive on FlussPool.
Okay, so that underwater treadmill we saw in their project showcase.
Oh, no, right.
It's like they took everything we thought we knew about tools and just flipped it on its head.
Totally.
But before we get too carried away with all the bells and whistles,
Right.
let's talk about the practical side of actually owning one of these things.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Those high-end projects are really cool. But we need to think about the nuts and bolts for people who might actually want one in their own homes.
Right. So, like, how does a FlussPool actually get from their factory in Switzerland to, say, someone's backyard in California?
Yeah.
I'm picturing, like, a giant crane delicately lowering a pre-assembled pool into place.
That's a funny image.
Yeah.
But it's not quite that simple.
Right.
Remember, each FlussPool is custom built.
Oh, right.
So while some parts might be prefabricated, a lot of the assembly happens on site.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I imagine the installation process must be pretty complex.
It can be, yeah. Especially for those more elaborate designs.
Right, like that mountaintop pool. They
Yeah.
were airlifting stuff in with helicopters.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah. It's definitely not your average DIY project.
Definitely not.
So they have a whole team of engineers and technicians who handle that.
They do, yeah.
Okay, that's good to know.
Makes sense, though, with how complex some of their projects are.
Right.
You need that level of expertise.
Right. Okay, so let's say you've got your FlussPool installed. You're ready to take the plunge.
Okay.
What's involved in the day-to-day upkeep?
Yeah.
Is it like a constant thing, or is it more hands-off?
That's a big question for anyone thinking about getting a pool.
Right.
But this is where FlussPool's innovations really shine.
Okay.
Remember that Hubbodent we talked about?
Yeah.
It's not just a cool disappearing act.
Right.
It actually helps a lot with maintenance.
Okay. How so?
Well, when the Hubbodent is lowered,
Uh-huh.
it seals off the pool,
Okay.
which means less debris falling in.
Makes sense.
So you don't have to skim as many leaves or scoop out bugs.
So it's like a built-in pool cover.
Exactly. It's a pool cover and a floor all in one.
That's pretty genius.
Yeah, it's a really smart design.
Okay.
Plus, their filtration system is really efficient,
Uh-huh.
so you don't need to use as many harsh chemicals.
Oh, okay.
So compared to a regular pool,
Yeah.
you're spending way less time cleaning and doing maintenance.
Okay. That's a big plus.
Yeah. Sounds like they've solved a big problem for pool owners.
Less time scrubbing means more time swimming?
Exactly. More time enjoying the pool.
Okay, but let's talk about cost now.
Yeah.
I know we've been dancing around it, but I think our listeners want to know what kind of investment we're looking at here.
That's a good question. And it's probably on everyone's mind.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's no easy answer.
Okay.
Because each FlussPool is custom designed and built.
Right.
The price depends on a lot of factors.
So no, like, handy price list on their website?
Not really.
Okay.
The best way to find out how much it costs is to contact them directly.
Okay.
Talk about your needs and what you want.
Right.
But it's safe to say that it's a premium product.
Right.
And it comes with a premium price tag.
That makes sense. We've seen the level of engineering and customization and everything.
Yeah.
It's not just an inflatable kiddie pool.
Not at all.
But for those who can afford it,
it
seems like it would be worth it.
I think so, too. It's important to remember that this is more than just a pool.
Okay.
It's an investment in your lifestyle.
Right.
Your well-being. Potentially even the value of your property.
That's a good point. It's not just a financial investment.
Right.
It's an investment in your health and happiness and just overall quality of life.
Absolutely.
So how do you decide if a FlussPool is right for you?
Yeah, that's a big question.
Yeah, it's a big decision.
It is.
And it's important to think about everything before you jump in.
Definitely.
So what are some of the things people should consider?
Well, I think first you need to be honest with yourself.
Okay.
About what you want in a pool.
Okay.
Are you just a casual swimmer who wants a place to cool off? Or are you like a serious athlete who wants to train?
Right.
And then obviously your budget is a big factor.
Yeah.
A FlussPool might be a dream for some, but you need to be realistic about what you can afford.
Right. And don't forget about space.
Yeah, space is important too.
Because even though they're compatible,
they still need a dedicated area.
Exactly.
So you need to think about whether your property can actually handle it.
Yeah, you need to make sure it fits.
That's where talking to FlussPool's experts would come in handy.
Exactly. They can help you figure all of that out.
Yeah.
They can look at your space, your budget, your desired features.
Right. And they can probably give you a better idea of the costs too.
Yeah, definitely.
Not just for the installation, but also for the long-term maintenance.
Absolutely.
And operating expenses.
All of that.
But remember, it's not just about the specs and the price.
No, it's not.
It's about how a FlussPool would fit into your life.
Exactly.
Right. Would it be a place for your family and friends to gather? A place for you to relax and unwind?
Yeah.
A place for you to train and push yourself?
It could be all of those things.
You need to think about that emotional connection you want to have with it.
Definitely.
So speaking of emotional connection,
okay,
I think it's time we talked about what makes a FlussPool so special.
The experience itself.
Okay.
We've talked about the features, the technology, the practical stuff.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground.
But it all comes down to what it feels like to actually swim in a FlussPool.
Right, to be in that environment.
Right. So let's dive into that sensory experience now.
Okay.
The weightlessness, the resistance of the current, the sounds of the water.
Yeah, let's explore that.
What does it actually feel like to be in one of these things?
And what could it mean for you?
Stay tuned for the final part of our deep dive into FlussPool. Welcome back to the deep dive. We've been exploring FlussPool and all its cool features and, the practicalities of actually owning one.
Yeah.
But now let's get to the heart of it. What's it actually like to own one of these things?
Right. Not just the logistics, but the feeling.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're listening, close your eyes for a second and imagine this.
Okay.
It's a warm summer evening. The sun is setting,
Yeah.
casting a golden glow over your backyard. You step out onto your patio.
Right.
And there it is, your FlussPool shimmering.
Beautiful. The Hubbodent is lowered, so it's like this sleek, invisible surface blending in with the deck.
Seamless.
And with a touch of a button, it starts to rise.
Oh.
The water ripples as the pool is revealed.
Oh, wow.
You dip your toes in the water.
Uh-huh.
The temperature is perfect.
Nice.
Thanks to that efficient heating system.
Right.
You take a deep breath. You smell that fresh chlorine-free water. And then you dive in.
Yeah.
First thing you notice is that feeling of weightlessness.
Yeah.
The water just surrounds you, supports you as you glide through the pool.
Like you're floating.
You push off against the current. You feel that gentle resistance as you swim in place. It's not a struggle. It's not a fight.
Right.
It's more like a dance.
Yeah.
Like a graceful back and forth between you and the water.
You're one with the water.
All the sounds from outside fade away.
Uh-huh.
All you hear is the whoosh of the current, the splash of your strokes.
Peaceful.
Close your eyes, you focus on your breath, you feel all that stress just melt away. It's amazing.
Maybe you spend an hour swimming laps.
Okay.
Challenging yourself against the current.
Pushing your limits.
Or maybe you just float on your back.
Yeah.
Look up at the stars and feel this deep sense of peace wash over you.
That sounds incredible.
It's a space that transforms with you.
Yeah.
It adapts to what you need in that moment.
Right. It could be whatever you want it to be.
Fitness, relaxation, contemplation, just pure joy.
It's amazing how versatile it is.
And then when you're ready, you step out of the pool, you feel refreshed, invigorated, connected to something bigger than yourself.
Wow.
But the magic of a FlussPool.
Yeah.
It goes beyond just those solitary moments.
Okay.
Imagine you're having a party on a warm night.
Yeah, right.
Friends and family are gathered around the pool.
Yeah.
The underwater lights are glowing.
Nice ambiance.
Kids are splashing around in the shallow end.
Uh-huh.
The Hubbodent is adjusted to keep them safe.
Right.
Adults are chatting and laughing.
Having a good time.
The sound of their voices blends with the sounds of the water.
That sounds so relaxing.
It's a place where connections are made deeper.
Yeah.
Memories are made.
Uh-huh.
Life is celebrated.
It's more than just a pool. It's a gathering place.
And that's what sets a FlussPool apart.
Yeah.
It's not just a luxury or a cool piece of technology.
Right.
It's a way to live a better life.
A richer life.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into FlussPool,
Okay.
we want to leave you with this.
Right.
Imagine the possibilities. Imagine the feeling.
Uh-huh.
Imagine the life you could have.
Okay.
With the FlussPool at the center of it. And if that vision speaks to you, if it makes you feel excited, then maybe it's time to reach out to FlussPool.
Yeah.
And start your own journey.
That's a great point.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It was fascinating.
We'll be back soon to explore something else.
Looking forward to it.
Until then, keep exploring, keep dreaming, and keep swimming towards a life that makes you happy